Hi, everybody. It has been a while since we've done a webinar, but I am so excited to be with you today, or tonight, I guess it is. We're going to do holiday nutrition workshop. I'm going to give everybody just a couple minutes to get on, and we will start in just another minute. Hey everyone, I am just finding one paper that I can't find for my links. So just 1 second and then we'll get started here. So hang tight. Found it. Okay, I'm excited to be with you. If you're here and you want to say hi to me so that I can see who's on, who's with us. I'm excited for tonight. If you are just now coming on ever one of our workshops, I love to do giveaways. So we'll do a giveaway as well. So any comment, post, hey, hi, question, whatever it might be. Hi, Sheila. I'll enter your name in to win a gift card, $50 gift card to Whole Foods, and you'll get it at the end of this, I guess you call it a broadcast, at the end of the webinar. I'll send one of you in your email a $50 gift card to Whole Foods. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Em. I love this time of year. The holidays are my favorite. Dr. Michael had the entire house blaring with Christmas music today, and we were singing. So it was really, really awesome. But it's a time where we get to be with family. We get to celebrate. We get to eat a lot of yummy food. And I know that it can be a great time where we get to even unwind. We get to relax. But the problem is, hey, Kay, is that we tend to overindulge in many of the wrong foods, and that starts to send us backwards in the steps that we've taken forwards this year, or it keeps you going underneath in a hole. So then when you're ready for January 1, you're already so far under. So I want and hope that today and tonight or whenever you are watching this, that there's something that changes over your holiday season, mainly in your mindset of what that can look like for you. So before we get into it, a little fun. That is Dr. Michael dressed up as Santa. So those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Cassie, and that is my husband, Dr. Michael, and we are both chiropractors at Major Family Chiropractic, where we're doing this from. And a fun little Christmas tradition that we used to do, I challenged him today. I was like, do you think you should do this again this year? But he would dress up like Santa Claus and spray paint his beard white every Christmas to give our niece and nephew their presents. And for years, they didn't know it was him, we're pretty sure, or they were really good actors. But then eventually they started to realize that it was their Uncle Mike. And so now we just bring our dogs and ourselves, and he doesn't dress up as Santa. But you can be sure if he decides to dress up as Santa this year, you will get a picture from us. But I've been a chiropractor for 8 years, and it's the most rewarding job, if you will. It's not a job for me, it's a mission. It's the most rewarding thing that I do, but there's also comes a lot of disappointing things that happen. And so one of the most disappointing things for me is to see patients do so well in their health. Like, they follow the best nutrition plan, like they get themselves in shape, they get adjusted. And in many cases, a lot of them are getting off of their medications, but it's only really until like the holidays happen. And that's when they find themselves starting to regain the weight again. They start struggling again with their health issues that they had already previously conquered. And when I've even sat down with somebody this week, and they're like, ever since Thanksgiving, I've fallen off, and like, he wants to get back on. But it's like every year about this time, we've been doing so good. And then all of a sudden it's like nothing. And so in my own family, not just Dr. Michael and I, but in our extended family, we have worked relentlessly to make sure that we would not find ourselves in the same position that most people find themselves in during this time. So we focused on recreating all the holiday traditions that you can think of, but making the meals and making the cookies and making those things, but without a bunch of sugar, without a bunch of grains, without a bunch of preservatives, without a bunch of additives and colorings and all the toxic ingredients that we can find in these holiday meals. And what we found, though, is that we really do enjoy the changes that we've made more than we did before. And on top of that, like, we don't have the feelings of our bodies suffering from indulging in the holidays. And I'm not here to tell you that we are perfect by any means, but we have done our very best. And so tonight, that is what I want to go through with you, is what our family has done. So like our traditions that we've created in a healthy way, hopefully that your family can also enjoy those same things. And here's the fruit of what has happened in our family. That is Dr. Michael's mom and Dr. Michael's dad. You can clearly see the transformation in the testimony, but we have just worked at it because we knew as a family we would consider like holidays like cheat meals, and we would just eat however. But we would go home visiting, and they would be like, I thought you guys ate healthy, and we're just eating cookies and doing all of that. And something changed where we were like, we're gonna do this. Like, we're gonna make Christmas healthy. We're gonna make Thanksgiving healthy. Like, we're gonna do this. And seeing my in-laws' whole entire health transform by doing this and developing these habits, not just for most of the year, but trying to do it for all of the year, has been awesome. They're in almost 70. I think she's 69. She just turned 69 as mom. His dad might be 70. No medications, 0. Healthy, well, take supplements, do all of that, eat healthy, they exercise, they move, and I'm just super, super proud of them. So some of the times it's like, well, I'm just too old, or I just have this, or I just have that. I've watched and seen in my own family health transformation and medications being gone and not needing those by changing the way that we have our lifestyles. So the first thing I'm going to go through is my top 6 healthy holiday tips. Now, I know you'd really love to get right into the food, but there's much more to it when it comes to the holidays. Hey, Chris, if you're just joining us, please say hi. I am talking to a computer screen, so I can see you if you're here. So just say hi to me if you're here, and I will enter to win because you're engaging with me, and I really appreciate it, and I want to honor it. That I will enter your name in to win a $50 gift card to Whole Foods, and you can say whatever you want as many times as you want, and every single time you get an entry. Hi, Michael. Is Hollis with you, or is it just you hanging out? Just let me know. Okay, as we go through the top 6, I want to go through this because I know that some of you probably feel sometimes the way that I feel, that you see people that can eat all that they want. They can literally eat whatever and they don't experience any health issues. They never gain weight, yet others, they're on these strict plans. They follow it to a T and they experience the exact opposite. Anybody ever been there or know what I am talking about? Nutrition is just one piece of the puzzle. So that's why tonight I'm not going to just strictly stick to nutrition, but you're going to see a lot of these tips are going to be about food, because I love talking about nutrition. I love talking about recipes, and I'm going to do all of that tonight, but I'd be deceiving you 100% if I didn't add in a couple other things of what we truly do for the holidays. So I don't want to do that. A lot of them are going to have to do with food. But the first one I'm going to talk about is during this holiday season, to really try your best to sit back and relax. And I know that maybe for some of you, it's not going to be that easy, but the first step to staying healthy this holiday season and this season of the world anyways in general is to ward off any mental and emotional stress, but doing it in a positive way. Now, I know unfortunately for most of you, this isn't going to be like a simple thing for you to do, but I want you to know the reality. So how this comes back to nutrition. The American Psychological Association reports that more than 30% of women and 20% of men comfort eat to manage stress in their lives. So the answer isn't a new nutrition plan. The answer is going into the psychology of why we would comfort eat. And I'm going to venture to guess that even right now, with the heightened stress of the world, but holiday stress on top of that, that the numbers are probably even a little bit higher. And even the New England Journal of Medicine during the holiday season, they have seen that most people don't actually ever lose the weight that they put on during the holidays. So when it comes to this and being a particular stressful time of the year, it's important to take more preventative measures instead of reactive measures when it comes to stress. Some of you might go see a counselor. I think that's beautiful. Some of you might need just permission to do that there's nothing wrong with you if you do that and seek professional help. Like, you might need to do that. But I think there's a couple other things that we can do during this holiday season, like aromatherapy, like focusing on things like lavender and patchouli, Roman chamomile, citrus oils, diffusing that throughout your home during this holiday season can really help your body relax. Burst training, I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. Chiropractic. Studies have shown that keeping your spine out of neurological interference is a really great way to ward off negative emotional and mental stress. It resets your body back. So every single time that you get adjusted, it's not just relieving pain or headaches or anything. It's part of it, but it's also resetting the stress response that's inside of your body because everything ran through your system. Fellowship and positive communication. I know that fellowship has been kind of hard this season, is being quarantined and being separated from each other, but finding a way to still create that fellowship and that community is going to help your body relax. And avoiding any negative or emotional draining interactions are going to be great. There are some people in your life and that are in your family that you only need to be around for like an hour and then that's it. But know that and don't continue to do that. So then your body starts to become into a stress response. So then you turn to eating on top of that, if that's where you go. Meditation and prayer, really focusing on your roots and your belief systems. I always know that when I read the Bible first thing in the morning, I have a better day. Like, I actually think about the world. I interact with people differently. Like, it does change me on the inside. So don't put that to the wayside during this holiday season. And stretching, like releasing muscle tension in your body, will positively influence how you approach the holiday season. Your body and mind are directly connected together. So by doing those things, your body can respond a lot better during this time. So then let's go into burst training. So there's two words there. Some of you might know what they are, some of you might not. Ghrelin and leptin. So ghrelin and leptin are hormones inside of your body. Ghrelin helps to say, hey, I'm hungry. So when you're hungry, ghrelin is released inside of your body and then you eat. It's not just your brain and your mind saying it, like ghrelin is released inside of your body and you're hungry. The opposite is leptin. So leptin says, I am full. You don't eat, like when leptin is released through your body. So the biggest thing is that we want those to be balanced between each other. So one of the most effective ways to balance those hormones of leptin and ghrelin is to regularly engage in burst training. By doing this, it actually influences, when it's in balance, it influences your desire to either crave or not crave unhealthy foods and snacks. So ghrelin plays a vital role in that cascade. So if ghrelin is out of balance, it's always telling you that you are hungry, that you are hungry, that you are hungry. Keep eating, even though you ate all of the things at the Christmas table. And then as opposed to leptin, leptin is known as the starvation hormone. But leptin's role is to notify your brain when you've had enough food. So if that's not working and we're out of balance, what can happen is that you might experience fatigue. You might battle some of those unhealthy food cravings. You might tend to snack between meals. You might not feel actually full when you're eating. You might even be tempted to overeat more when these are out of balance. And then that out of balance can create weight gain. So it's not because you don't have enough willpower sometimes. That could possibly be, but it could be that your hormones are so out of balance that your insides are doing this and you're like, what is happening? But we have to balance those together. So thankfully, by doing high intensity, short duration, AKA burst training exercises, can prevent this out of balance from happening. So the UK, they did research and they found that total ghrelin concentrations declined. So that's the one that keeps telling you that you're hungry. Declined just after a 30-second sprint. And then they were significantly lowered after 30 minutes of recovery than they were pre-exercise. So if you can imagine combining like 15 to 20 second intervals here and there, like a 30-second sprint doing that, you can only wonder what the results would actually be of ghrelin reducing. Scientists have also discovered that a similar phenomenon happens with leptin. So after evaluating 18 healthy male volunteers who completed low and high intensity exercise routines, they found that a 65% max aerobic capacity significantly lowered leptin levels than those that were doing low intensity. Those results remained stable for 24 to 48 hours after, which suggests that high intensity, short duration exercises, those types of routines have a significant long-term effect on balancing hormones that regulate your hunger and weight gain for long-term. I'm in. So to help you stay fit, like during the holiday season, to help balance so that you're not overeating, and it really does, your nutrition is involved in this, is burst training at least 3 times a week. And you can start tonight if you want to. After we're done, you can run in place for 15 seconds, rest, run in place for 15 seconds, do it for a total of 5 minutes. And you're already balancing your hormones and helping your body to lose weight, have more energy, battle food cravings, be full when you are full, and not overeat by doing those things. Pretty awesome, right? I love it. So then, those of you that need a place to start, I have a movement challenge for you. I'm posting it right here in the comments. You can download that. And it's a 30-day challenge of moving and having more burst training in your life. So you're going to see like a 30-second plank, 30-second rest. Do that for 2 minutes. You're going to see a 30-second push-up. You're going to see 30-second squats. Modify like you need to, but there's 6 rounds that happen and you rest for a minute. So this is for anybody, and you can make it as difficult as you want. There's an extra challenge. You can sub with burpees. You can do tuck jumps. This might be something that you might do with your family. And I love this because you can start anywhere and you can do it anywhere. You don't need a bunch of equipment to be able to do that. So there's a link that's in the comments if you're in Facebook or if you're on YouTube. I think it went twice because it was having an error on Facebook, but click that and you can have it for free. You can download it and use it. Next, wake up early. Over the holidays, like I don't work. Like, do I really have to wake up early? Well, according to a study that was published in the Journal of Physiology, the best way to maximize the burst that we talk about is to exercise first thing in the morning. Exercising on an empty stomach also helps to facilitate adaptations in the muscle and improve blood glucose tolerance and insulin sensitivity, which both are main contributors to obesity and type 2 diabetes. So that's number one reason. So just to segue into what we just learned. But additionally, Dr. Jörg Huber, he's from the University of Roehampton. He found that there are morning people and there are evening people. And you know who you are. I'm a morning person. Dr. Michael's like an in-between, like he can do both when it comes to that. I am not an evening person. If you've ever been around me in the evening, I am asleep in the first 2 minutes of a movie that we watch, and when it hits 9 o'clock, like I am done. But he found that morning people tend to be healthier and happier, as well as having lower body mass indexes. Michael says mornings are awful. Not my Michael, but Michael on Facebook. So it's crazy though, just to see the health benefits of just being in a morning person and waking up in the morning. Now, there's speculation around some of that too, but the reason that they see that happen as a trend is because they do see that people that are morning people have an increased work productivity. They regularly eat breakfast and they don't skip a lot of meals. And I'm not talking intermittent fasting. I'm just saying like they're just not skipping things by doing that. I do believe there needs to be some more research and kind of seeing what that looks like. But I will say Benjamin Franklin, we might want to listen to his quote that says, early to bed, early to rise makes a man or a woman healthy, wealthy, and wise. So don't get too far off of your routine that you normally have during the weeks. I mean, a half an hour here and there, like my body can't even sleep past 6:30, maybe 7 some days, but I have to usually go to bed a lot later for that to even happen. But try to keep on staying awake. And if you're just now joining us, say hey, or if you have any questions, I do have time at the end that we'll go through questions. But please let me know. I'm giving away a $50 gift card to Whole Foods. For every comment, you get an entry or a hey or a hi. Number 4, bring your own food. And this is to really make sure, hey Key, this is really sure that you stay true to what you have decided. Hey Anna, but it's like for you to really truly stay on it, it is a good idea, especially if your family hasn't quite come on board with healthy eating. It's a really good idea to bring your own food during family gatherings. I do understand completely that this might be a touchy subject for some people, and it might create an awkward moment or a few awkward moments. But with a little bit of tact, and I'm going to give you and show you how you can kind of do this, it can be done without offending anyone and not actually bringing so much attention to you also. Hi, Margaret. So here's what I suggest. So well in advance, I mean, next week is Christmas, so it might not be too in advance, but it's never too late to at least give it a go. But you want to call either the host or the hostess and just let them know if you, A, have any food sensitivities, you're on a special diet, or that you will be bringing your own dish to the holiday party. A lot of people nowadays, they don't really care, like when it comes to that. They understand, but I will tell you, a lot of them want to do it for you and be like, what is it and how is it? But I think the best thing to do is that to ensure that you don't want to like actually burden them, and how to be like, you don't have to do that. Say that you will bring your own food, and the biggest thing that you're looking forward to is spending quality time with them. So not making it all about the food that you're going to eat and how much you can't have and all of that, that the real thing is that the community that happens over food. That's what it's really all about. And at the party or wherever you're at or at dinner, don't make a fuss about what you're doing. Simply eat your food and enjoy your fellowship. Like, it doesn't need to be a big deal, but a lot of people can make it a big deal. And I just want to calm you on that and give you permission to do that as well. And the other part of it is, like, most importantly, like, if you know that you have a weakness, like if pumpkin pie is your Achilles heel, if Christmas cookies are your Achilles heel, like, be sure to prepare a healthy version of that, so that you can eat it and it fits into your plan of how you want your health to look like. I have created for you guys, like, here's some of my favorite side dishes that we've made and desserts. I'm going to post a link to it because you can do the same exact thing. You can download and print those off. If you haven't already made your holiday plans, or you want to change them because you can, or bring another dessert that you can eat, here are the 2 documents. They're on side dishes and desserts that you can have on your own. Five. Is everybody still with me? Cool. So read your labels. So when you're preparing all of your holiday meals, like, make sure that you are feeding your body with food that actually promotes health and healing. Most importantly, how you're going to know that is by reading your label. So don't just trust a label for what it says. Today, all natural and organic are really useless when it comes to what it actually means. And here's why. There's no regulation to what organic and all natural really does mean. So for instance, the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, their distinction for organic in like multi-ingredients, so not just like one thing of where it's organic, but if it has multiple ingredients inside of it, they specify that foods items that contain 95% organic ingredients is considered organic. So that leaves 5% that's anybody's game, anybody's guess of what it could actually be. And for some of you are like, 95% is good. Well, like, but there's 5% in there that you're not quite certain what's actually in it or if it's actually good for you. So the moral of the story of when it comes to reading labels is that you have to look at individual ingredients so that they can pass your test of reading the label. So if 5% of them are garbage, then that means that the whole thing is like trashed. And I wish this wasn't true, because I can see Key, your response, I can see Chris's response, Michael's response. You're like, holy smokes, I didn't know this. But you can figure this out. There is no reason that you can't. But you have to be like this ninja of looking at every single label. For some of you, it's going to be like, ugh, like that is just annoying. But the cool thing about all of those recipes that I gave you is that all of them are real ingredients. You know exactly what is going inside of there. Like there's usually no labels that you really have to read, or there's very few. So the less labels that you have to read, the better, because then you know exactly what's inside of the food. But I'm going to give you a bit of guidance, okay? And you need some time to do research. Like this isn't something that happens overnight, but you're going to practice and learn. But I read every label and every ingredient because I have been duped where it was once a good product and then they added something randomly and I didn't know, and I brought it home and it was not healthy for me anymore. And I was like, what the heck? They changed their ingredients on it and now we couldn't have it. So let's just take a look at a couple of them. You might be able to read it. You might have to like scroll in on your phone or your computer. But this right here is just holiday ice cream. I know that we love desserts, and this is like it's a Blue Bunny, like snickerdoodle ice cream. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, there is nothing in there that says health to me, like at all. And so sometimes during the holidays we'll splurge, but you can see there's sugar inside of there. There's so many yellow dyes. There is more sugar. There's unhealthy oils, unhealthy fats. There is things I can't pronounce. There's all this cellulose stuff. There's a bunch of wheat and whole wheat flour inside of there because there's like graham crackers, and there's more sugar. Then there's all of these other things, soy inside of there, natural flavoring, blue dyes. And we eat that, and then it's crashing our immune systems. It's crashing our health. And then we're like, why are we getting sick during this time? And I'm not talking like COVID. I'm talking like this flu season, or we get the sniffles, or we get these allergies, and it could be the food that we're putting inside of our bodies, and our bodies are like, what are you doing? And when we read those labels, if you knew and if you really looked, not just looked on the outside, we wouldn't put that in our bodies. You wouldn't just put like red dye on your body. Like it just doesn't work. Too many ingredients. That's right, Chris. So then I don't know if you can read this one because I can barely read this one, but it's a candy cane. So we're in the world of candy cane land that's happening. And if you look, sugar, corn syrup, natural flavor, and red 40 dye. So it is just like chemicals, nothing healthy, nothing good inside of it. One of the ways that we bring peppermint into Christmas is we use peppermint essential oils. And those can be very much added to a lot of things where you can still get that pepperminty thing. So I'm not saying like you don't have to have the joy and wonders of that pepperminty time, but we can do it in a healthier way. So what are you going to look for when you read the labels? The first thing I want to talk about is the protein source, because a lot of times we have ham, we have turkey, we do a beef tenderloin for Christmas, and we want to make sure that the protein source though is coming from, like, are you actually looking to make sure that it's grass-fed, that it's pasture raised? Like, are you looking for it to come from a natural and organic source that you can trust? Like, are you reading the label to make sure there's no like added ingredients inside of there? That's a big deal, because you don't want to buy something conventional, because that means that it's going to create inflammation inside of your body, because the cows are getting fed grain and they're not supposed to, so they're already inflamed and you're eating that. And then the chickens, like, you don't want to do that. And the turkeys, like, you want to make sure you know where the protein source is coming from. Number two, when you look at the ingredients, make sure that there's only healthy fats inside of there. So not vegetable oils, not canola oils. Keep out of like margarines and trans fats. Those are your ones that you're looking for. Get rid of canola oil, vegetable oil, margarine, and trans fats. You're looking for coconut oil. You're looking for avocado oil. There is an up in the air about grapeseed oil. I usually use it for baking. It's not too bad. Just keep it on the minimum. I don't do all of mine with grapeseed oil. I've turned to more of avocado oil. You can use things like ghee and grass-fed butter. Look for those things and use those types of ingredients for your, like if you're making cookies, use grass-fed butter. Don't just use margarine or just some normal butter. Change those ingredients and look for the right ones on the labels. And the third one is no toxins. So no red food coloring. Like, I know we want to dye our cookies all reds and greens, but they have organic ones. You can use beets. You can use cabbage. Like you can use other vegetables. All you have to do is look it up, and you can use those to dye things, or organic, more organic, natural food colorings. You can use, like Dr. Michael's birthday, there's sprinkles that are colored with beets and different vegetables. So they're dyed vegetably. So you can still have those colors. And that's what we've done with our Christmas cookies a couple years now. Dr. Michael's sister makes them, but they use all natural food colorings and dyes. They've tried to do the beets. It's not like it's totally perfect, and we go hit or miss just depending on time and stress of it. But things that you can't pronounce, like don't put them in your foods. There's way better options for what you can do for that. And if you're listening and if you have like questions, you can email me and I can find a substitute. Like if you have a family recipe that's been passed down and passed down and passed down and passed down, and you're like, how do I make this healthy? Like, what can we do? We have a couple patients, Irene and Carolyn, and when they first started as patients like years ago, they were like, we make Christmas cookies every year. Like, what are we going to do? We can't unknow what we know now, and we can't eat that and continue to eat that. So they revamped all of their Christmas cookies, and we were thankfully their guinea pigs of checking to see how they would taste. But through the year, like she kept tweaking and kept changing, and now they're all made with healthier ingredients that aren't going to just destroy everybody's health. So if you have a recipe and you want to share it with me, I can see if we can't change it to better, healthier ingredients. And then lastly, number 6, plan as much as you can. And mainly doing it in advance, of course, is what a plan is anyways. But I am going to put here just a nice meal planner that you can start to fill out with your family. You might not fill out all of it, but it was designed to cover everything from an appetizer to a drink to the main dish to side dishes and what that would look like. And you can see who's making it. Where's that recipe coming from? And you can have a conversation about what are we going to use for this, and take one of the recipes that you got from the side dishes or the desserts and plug one of those in. Give it a go this year. See how you do it. It might completely fill up and be so healthy, or like maybe you keep the turkey the same and you do a different side dish, or you keep the side dishes the same, but you get a better, healthier turkey, or desserts look a little different, and give it a go, but plan it. I am such a planner. It's ridiculous. I try to plan my entire life, but I keep it very open. So I'm not like, like that. But I will tell you, I have made a ton of plans. Meal plans. I've made plans for families of like how to and when to take supplements, how to do it, exactly literally planned out their life of how do you do this and how does this work? But who's the only one responsible for actually doing the plan? It's not me. And that's where I see is like you have this plan, but you do have to execute. You are responsible for what you're putting in your body. And that's what I want to kind of talk about next when it comes to what if all of this, I can't, like, what if I can't plan? What if my plan just literally goes up in flames? What if people aren't willing to? Maybe your family isn't willing to kind of go a ways. I get that as part of my family, kind of does sometimes, but you control what goes on your plate. So if you show up to a holiday party and you didn't plan yourself together, you didn't bring a dish and you're just showing up, or you don't feel comfortable yet telling people that you're going to bring something, or you just don't want to draw attention, here's what you can do. You get to decide what goes on your plate. You get to decide what you eat. And if you put the majority of your plate full of salad and veggies, of course, as raw as possible is the best. Like, put a ton of that on your plate, and then start to sprinkle in some of the protein and the healthy fats. Get that about 30% of your plate. And then if you're going to have a carb, like macaroni and cheese, or you're going to have a roll, there are some grainless rolls that are on those side dishes as well. So you can have some rolls without any grain in them whatsoever, and they taste great. But make that a smaller portion. Carbs also include like your desserts. Like, keep that very small. Like, just have half of it. Ask someone if they want to share it with you. So then that way your plate looks a little bit different than it has in the past, instead of just shoveling everything that's on there in there. Number 2, I'm kind of going into like, now what happens if you just don't? So I went for my top 6, and now you're getting some bonus when it comes to that. So how you can do this, if you know that dinner's coming, if you know you're going to a Christmas party, if you know that something's going to happen in the later part of the day, start your day off right. Breakfast absolutely matters. So by starting at least your breakfast off, and then maybe it kind of goes off a little bit in the nighttime, you at least have some healthy things inside of your body to begin with. So my best suggestion that I have, and the easiest way to get all the nutrients in that you need at one time, is by making a smoothie. When you make a smoothie, you get to put all of the healthy things in there, just drink it up, and that is a great way to start your breakfast. So if you only do one thing, change your breakfast and keep your breakfast healthy, it's a really good win. So what we do is a protein smoothie. We put in greens first powder that you see right here. We put that into the blender. We also we're using bone broth protein. I'll get to protein powders in just a second. But we put a scoop of protein powder in there. We put a scoop of the greens first powder in there. And then we put a handful of spinach, a handful of blueberries, and coconut milk. And we put a little bit of water in there because we like ours to be a little bit thinner, because I like to drink my smoothie through a straw. And sometimes we add in almond butter. Sometimes we add in chia seeds. Sometimes we add in some maca powder. Sometimes we add in just straight up cocoa powder. Just depending on how we're feeling. Sometimes we've even put in like flaxseed oil or straight flax seeds or some more nuts and some more seeds to help give us some healthy fats. So we try to add all of that in, blend it up. We separate it. Dr. Michael made like a pumpkin one today. So he put a little bit of pumpkin in there, some cinnamon inside of there, and made it like a little bit of a pumpkin smoothie. But we try to do that every morning, even through the holidays. And what I love about greens powders is that we take this not only for the holidays, but we do it every day anyways, but especially when we travel, we take it because you are guaranteed for one scoop of the greens first powder to have 15 to 18 servings of vegetables in it per scoop. So then you absolutely get all of your vegetables that you needed that aren't like cooked to smithereens or put inside of macaroni and cheese or pasta or cheese. And you can have them straight like they're dehydrated and put inside of there into your body, giving them what they need. And then when it comes to protein powders, we carry 3 in our office, and there's usually 3 that you can buy, like types. The first one is the grass-fed whey protein that you see right there. This is more like grass-fed protein is really more for those that work out a lot. It's full of amino acids, but it does have a tendency to cause some digestive issues for those that are dairy intolerant or like cheese, like those like milk intolerant. Grass-fed protein isn't the best, but if you are working out and you want to replenish what you've lost and give your muscles what they need, then having grass-fed whey protein is the way to go. We are doing bone broth protein right now. So the Pure Path protein is bone broth protein. And this one we love because a lot of us are struggling with leaky gut and digestive issues. And so the nice thing about bone broth is it has collagen in there that will help heal up any of the holes that have been in your digestive system from not eating properly for years or taking medications. Like that can disrupt your digestive system. As well, and toxins coming into our body. The other part that I love about bone broth protein is that if you do have a sensitivity to like whey or dairy or milk, that you can still do bone broth protein. Like it can help to heal up that. There's no sensitivities that happen with it. However, if you do have like a milk sensitivity or you're vegan or you're vegetarian, there's the plant protein, which is made from pea protein. And then that way, it's an easier absorbable one. It takes a little bit slower of a digestion, but it has no animal products in it whatsoever, so your body can actually process it a little bit better. Those of you that are current patients, if you haven't gotten your smoothies or you need your greens powder or your protein, we are doing 15% off tonight. So all that you have to do is text April at that number at the office, 615-927-4571. You can order it. We do have all of this in stock. If not, then it should be here, of course, by Christmas. And just let April know, and she can make sure to set aside one. If you are not a patient and like local to Nashville, really, you can click the links that I'm gonna post right now. to order. You do order it online, but they do have codes for you, thankfully, that you get to have 10% off. And you just have to put in the code December 10 to get 10% off, and it can get delivered right to your door. There's the grass-fed protein, plant protein, and then you have bone broth protein. They're also doing, if you spend $29.99 or more online, you get free shipping. Patients, you can do that too. You just don't save 5% by doing it in the office. So just want you to know that that does exist. It says there's an error that occurred on Facebook for the grass-fed. So I'm going to do the grass-fed protein one more time for that. But you can click the links inside of there as well. And if you want or need any of those supplements. So that's how we do it. It's just quick, it's easy, gets everything in that you need to. Now, keep healthy snacks nearby. If you know that you're a snacker, but you go to your families and all that's inside of the candy dishes is a bunch of candy and M&Ms and all of that, maybe think about this year doing some homemade trail mix or some nuts and seeds. There's these amazing nuts. I don't know, it might be in the dessert recipe. If not, I'll post it later. But it's almonds, and it's like holiday almonds, and they're so cinnamony and yummy, and they're great. So there's recipes and tons of them that are great. But what we do in our family is we have a spread of healthy snacks out throughout the entire day. So like Dr. Michael's parents have a dining room, like a formal dining room, and then they have a kitchen table that's in the kitchen. And so we usually eat in the formal dining room. Only on holidays. And then the kitchen table becomes this like healthy snack spread. So we'll get the Simple Mills crackers, we'll get some raw cheese, we'll get some apples, we'll make some little appetizers, we'll do all of that. Like even side dishes can become appetizers. And we put that and we just have it throughout the day so that nobody's like having candy and all the cookies, and then that way people can graze throughout, and it even helps so then you don't like indulge when it comes to eating the main meal. Sharon, I'm going to answer those questions in just a minute. She's asking a few questions, but if anybody else has any questions, please put them in there, and then we will go back to those recipes. Now, just a quick bonus, like supplement must-haves. I talked about greens powder already, but I want to just give you an option too for digestive enzymes that I recommend. We do it when we travel, and we do it during the holidays. Like if we know it's not going to be totally healthy or like how we normally eat to disrupt our system, we will always do the greens first. So I talked about that, but we will also do Max GI, which is digestive enzymes. And we take it before every meal. So then it just says, hey, body, I know I'm about to maybe eat some pumpkin pie that's not healthy for me, or like there's a little bit more cheese than I normally eat, or it's not what I would normally do, or I don't eat this much meat, or however that looks. We always do that before every meal. It just helps. There's oregano oil inside of there. There's clove oil inside of there, which also helps to kill off any unhealthy bacteria that would be inside of your body at that time, or where your body would start to like have more unhealthy bacteria. It helps to calm that down, and then also helps your body digest that food at the same exact time. So this is holiday supplement must-haves. Like I really do believe that these two things, if you do this and then change some of your food, you're going to be set up for success. And then the last one is alcohol. The biggest thing with alcohol is really limiting your intake, and try not to do more than 2 drinks in a day. And I know that it can be tough to do that during the season, like the holiday spirit, and it's like fun to like drink with your family and all of that. And like we do indulge a little bit when it comes to that. But the second one that you see right there, it says choose alcohol with a lower glycemic load. And I'm going to say that's a twofold. A lot of times when it comes to drinking alcohol, it's more your mixers that are the issue. So no syrups, and opt for like more fresh juices without any added sugar, and club soda, sparkling water, like that stuff, not the Cokes and the Sprites and the cranberries and the Red Bulls. Like look at choosing things that are more lower on the glycemic index. Our drink of choice that we usually do is Tito's and water. And we spritz a lemon inside of it, and that's what we do. And that's what we have. So we try to choose things that are lower on the glycemic index. So things like tequila are one of them. I'm going to give you some examples. So tequila, Tito's vodka, having a mojito minus the syrup that goes inside of it, having a margarita minus the agave or the syrup that you put in it, having a homemade Bloody Mary, not like Bloody Mary mix that you just throw into vodka, like actually making Bloody Mary mix. We've done that a few times and it tastes delicious and it's kind of fun to like concoct something. Gin and tonic, having kombucha and using that as a mixture, mixture, is that what I'm saying? Yeah. Kombucha as a mixer. That's what I'm trying to say. A mixer. Having lighter beers, especially like gluten-free light beer, rosés, champagne, red wine. Those are okay. Like it's just really limiting the amount that you do. There's also a drink that I've never had, but people say it's really good during the holidays. It's called a hot toddy. So hot toddies are a really good idea if you're going to do alcohol, and then a martini, but not putting the vermouth inside of there will help to decrease that glycemic load. Then following each glass of alcohol with water is also a really great idea. That is just on you, whether you decide to do that or not, but it will help you. And then the last thing is never drinking on an empty stomach. And I don't mean because you're going to get drunk faster, because that's one way to do it. If you're going to limit it to 2 or more drinks, drink on an empty stomach. But what I mean by that is because you actually will get drunk faster, but what getting drunk looks like is a destruction usually of your nutrition. I'm not talking about like alcoholism and what that is, because I do come from a family of that being an issue, and I know what that can do, and I'm not going to talk about that currently, but if we do need to have that conversation, I am very much able to do that. But I'm talking about when you drink alcohol, like all things go away and you start to order pizza and you start to everything that you wanted to be healthy and to be well just went out the window. So those are some big things. Now I have an even bigger bonus. So like, what if you drink too much? What can you do? There's a way to balance your body back out, because the reason that you become when you become drunk, like, or drink too much, like your body becomes dehydrated. There's no electrolytes that happen in there. Your body has to work overtime, your liver, your kidneys. So before bed, you can take a vitamin D3, a vitamin C, and a B complex. And this is to help rise up your body back to where it was depleted. You can drink 8 ounces of water with lemon juice and have a half a teaspoon of sea salt. That's going to replenish electrolytes that happened, that were lost from drinking. But the biggest thing I want you to do is like wake up, start fresh. Like drink some juice, get a smoothie in your body, get some greens first into your body, and go for a walk or do some calm yoga or some calm stretching to get your body back, and then restart the day. Don't be like, oh, well, now I'm going to just do it again, or I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm just going to go on this cycle. Like, no, you start fresh if that is to happen this holiday season. So let's talk and answer some questions that we have here. I'm going to just go to the top to make sure I didn't miss anything here. If you have any questions, you can ask them now. I can see them all in the comments. Chris says, cauliflower mashed potatoes. They're so good. They're so good. You don't even know the difference. We tricked our niece and nephew one year with mashed potatoes. In mashed cauliflower and thinking that they were mashed potatoes. Key, you haven't tried a smoothie with spinach. Spinach is so great. Like Anna says, like you can't even taste it. It's way better than kale. Like kale, if you don't have like a really high-speed blender, the kale will get stuck and it'll just be chewy. So we prefer to put spinach in it all the time because you can't do it. Sharon, you got this. Like you can absolutely make them smoothies. You can do it. And yes, greens powder has 15 to 18 servings inside of it. You need some bone broth protein. You got it. Text April. She'll save you one. My favorite flavor, Sharon's asking, what's your favorite flavor of greens first? So I will tell you my favorite flavor is the original, which kind of is like a minty one, but not like toothpaste mint or like peppermint. It's not like that. It's called original. It's my favorite. It just tastes fresh to me. However, the one that we sell out the most of is chocolate. And I'll tell you why. You can taste and make just chocolate with water and it tastes like hot chocolate. Like it literally tastes like Nesquik and you can just drink it up and everybody loves chocolate. And if it's going to taste like chocolate and you get vegetables inside of it, I think it's a plus. We've had even like moms trick their kids into drinking it and thinking that it's like hot chocolate or like chocolate milk, and they'll drink it up and they'll get all of their vegetables and servings inside of there. So we do have berry. I always suggest that you get one of the sample packets of berry first before you buy it. So you can always do that too. You can always ask us for samples. We do have, I think we're out of the chocolate sample, but we do have original samples and berry samples that you can always try first before you decide what you want to purchase. And then, do you have a healthy recipe for Chex Mix? That's one of my holiday favorites. Sharon, do you mean like a puppy chow? I know she's on, so I'm just going to wait for her to respond. We're about a 10-second lag, I think. Michael's asking while she's going to respond, could you provide a quick overview on sweeteners? Yes. Good options and which ones to avoid. I've seen monk fruit, stevia, erythritol touted as healthy options. Curious if that is the case. So, yes. Now, there is even some things. So we mainly use like stevia to taste in all of our recipes. We don't use it a lot. There's also some things where it's like stevia yes, stevia no. I have currently been using date syrup and dates. And I'll tell you the reason. They're not as processed. So you can make your own date syrup and it comes from a straight date and there's nothing else in it. It didn't come like, I mean, sure, it came through a factory to get inside of a bag to come to your house. But we've been using dates mainly. But you really want to stay away from anything sugar or that says sugar on it, even if it says organic cane sugar. And absolutely stay away from artificial sweeteners. So the Splendas, the Sweet and Lows, the Equal, those are all artificial sweeteners and they're bleached and they're dyed and they can cross the blood-brain barrier and they can destroy your brain fog. They can destroy that ghrelin and that leptin balance by artificial sweeteners. So we look out and don't eat any of those. When it comes to monk fruit, I just don't like the taste of monk fruit, but monk fruit is a really good option as well. It comes in a powder, it comes in syrups, so you can use monk fruit as well. That is usually a 1-to-1 ratio, depending on your recipe. So when I say using other sweeteners for recipes, always do it to taste, to see how it is and how it goes. Because everybody is a little bit different. Some people don't like stevia aftertaste, so they don't use stevia. When it comes to erythritol and xylitol, that one you have to watch out for because that one is a 1-to-1 ratio. So if it says 1 cup sugar, you can use 1 cup xylitol or erythritol. It is a sugar alcohol, and sometimes it can cause digestive disturbances inside of you. Like you might have like a don't trust a fart type of a situation. There's going to be a lot of gas. And if you fart, like you might shart. And so that's one where you have to watch out for. It happens to me. So guilty on that one. So I don't use a whole lot of it. I know coconut sugar also is something that people use. I usually use that if it's going to call for brown sugar. But my favorite thing to use right now, Michael, is dates. I just feel like it's the most natural when it comes to sweeten anything because it's just dates. Key loves. My Aunt Pam says, gives me diarrhea almost immediately. It's true. I ate a bar one time, like a health bar, and it had xylitol in it, and I was running to the bathroom. It was awful. Sharon, I think I would like the original. Do you add anything else to your greens powder when you make it? No, I literally just put greens powder and water if it doesn't go in my smoothie. Because sometimes you might have the lull in the middle of the day and you need a pick-me-up. So instead of, like, you might need a nap, so try a nap first. But if you can't take a nap, not going for coffee, but getting a scoop of greens powder, putting it in water and drinking it. And it's not like a shot and chugging it. Like, you can just drink it like throughout the day and it can help energize your body. Give it some vegetables. No, not for dogs, for people. Like the Chex Mix cereal with nuts. Sharon, Puppy Chow is like, it's made with Chex Mix, so it's not like for dogs, but it's called Puppy Chow. It's actually really good. It has like a bunch of powdered sugar and chocolate and all of that in it. So Sharon, if you send me that recipe, I'll find you one. I'll see if I can find you a recipe for that, and then I'll share it with everybody. I don't know if I've ever had that. I might have. That looks like all the questions. If you have any other questions, I'm going to put my email address right here. It's Dr. Cassie at majorfamilychiropractic.com, and you can reach out to me and send me any recipes that you have, or if you just don't like asking questions online, I get that too. You can personally email me and I can answer any questions. The last thing is just what's coming up, so that way you guys are the first to know. You're the first to know the next one. But what's coming up is all of December, the rest of it for next week. And then even when we get back from Christmas, those are a couple days. We're doing Friends and Family Month all December long. And what this one is a food drive. So any of your friends or your family that you that are local to Nashville, they can come in and they get their first exam, their first consultation, all of their x-rays if they need them, for either just a $40 donation that will go towards buying food, or they can bring in $40 worth of food, whether it's from the pantry or they buy some, and they can get all of that at no cost at all. We're giving to the little pantry that could. You can see we started, if you're in the office, we started a little pile of food, but if you are also a patient, you can still bring some food. So you don't have to get all of this to bring some food. If you'd love to just help and bring some, we'd love to be able to donate even more food to the little pantry that could. If you are watching, this is how you make yourself an appointment. So the easiest way to request one is to go to our website, which is at majorfamilychiropractic.com. And you can see, sorry, I'm just posting it to the comments. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Fill out the new patient special form that you see on the right-hand side. So your first name, your last name, your email, and your phone number. And then April will be in touch with you. She'll reach out to you to see what appointments we have available for you to get checked and start on your health journey. And then lastly, this is, nobody else knows except for those of you that are listening live right now. Our next workshop for the new year, it's going to be called New Year, New You. We are so excited to be doing it. We are going to do it in person as far as right now, and it's going to be on January 30th. That is a Saturday. It's going to be from 9 to noon, but we're planning on being done a little bit early. But if you know Dr. Michael and I, sometimes we talk a lot, and so we just want to make sure we have a buffer there and you can plan according. And then there'll be a break in the middle. We'll have a ton of snacks. We'll have a bunch of activities, but it's going to be awesome. You don't want to miss it. We don't have a sign up quite yet for it, but just save the date for that January 30th. It is on a Saturday. We're going to go into this next year with a new you. I mean, what else can we do from this 2020 year? But our events, I put up a link as well so that you can see how you can sign up for events, and it will be up probably at the beginning of the new year. And you'll also see a sign up in the office for those of you that are patients. It looks like we are all good. Thank you guys so much for being on. Know that we love you a ton. We just want the best for you. And if you have any questions or any thoughts, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are more than happy to help make this holiday season and your holiday food and who you are the healthiest that it's ever been, even if it's one thing. So share testimonies with us. So if you are like, hey, this year we did this, I'm going to do this, or I was I got some greens first. I did that. I made a smoothie. Please let us know. We really love to hear your wins and we love to celebrate with you. So let me know. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.